Yo, 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 what's up? It's Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Always honored to be with the one and only Jay Croucher from PointsBet Sportsbook. You the man, Jay. Hope you're well, buddy. I think we got some good topics to talk about today, all right? And this is where I want to go first because I'm interested here. For MVP, NFL right now. You know, we know Thursday Night Football, we got Lamar Jackson. He's certainly in that conversation. I don't know if he's the leader. But I feel like we're at a spot here halfway through the year where, I don't know, I want to say the MVP debate seems to be more up in the air than most years. So go ahead, lead us off. Let me know what your thoughts are as far as Lamar Jackson being the MVP this year.
Cool. Yeah, so I'll give my little speech on Lamar, being a devout member of the Church of Lamar. We think that right now Lamar should be much more in consideration for being front runner for MVP relative to the rest of the market. And the reason is mainly that this Baltimore team outside of Lamar just isn't very good at the moment. And this defense is giving up 60-yard plays for fun. The offensive line is really banged up. Obviously, they lost 1 million running backs. And meanwhile, Lamar, he's 9th in the league in passing yards, 6th in the league in rushing yards. He's dragged this team to a 6-2 record. They'll be 7-2 after tonight if they take care of the Dolphins. They'll be tied for the best record in the AFC. He's going to be setting records left and right. He's on pace to break the all-time yards in a season record, passing and rushing combined. There is a legitimate chance that Lamar Jackson throws for 5,000 yards this season, which is just insane to think about when you consider that he's also, like I said right now, 6th in the league in rushing. And so if he can shatter records, if he can drag this Baltimore team to a top 2 seed, then I don't see how anyone wins MVP over him.
Yeah, listen, I think those are really valid points. And to me, some of the points you made there are what I would have exactly said. The defense is not great. So that means that the offense is going to continue to have to press the gas pedal to the metal. And on the offensive side of the ball, I think the thing that jumps out to me and what I tried to explain to a lot of people, and it's going to echo a point you just made, is, they're not a great running football team this year. And I mean that from the traditional standpoint. I know they're up there statistically, but it's because of Lamar Jackson. The Lamar Jackson running game and his scrambling is what makes them one of the top running games in football. As in years past where, hey, the running attack through the traditional way of giving the ball to the running back made them one of the best, let alone it just got accentuated even more with Lamar Jackson and his ability to run. He's so much more consistent within the pocket, throwing the football. He's very accurate. They make a lot of big plays. Some of the young receivers have really stepped up. So I'm with you. That's one I look at to go, whoa, that seems like it's pretty good odds. I'd be shocked. I mean, you said 5,000 and all-time record rushing for a quarterback. I mean, at the very least, he's going to throw for plus 4,000, and he's going to get over 1,000-yard rushing, which is insane in the membrane and speaks to MVP for sure. Anybody else, just to kind of button this up, that jumps out to you that you look at as being one that maybe the people are sleeping on or that you like a lot?
So I think right now we've got Tom Brady favourite in the market, and he's favourite for a reason. His counting stats are absurd. There's a very good chance he breaks the all-time passing yards record, although he'll probably need that extra 17th game to do it. He could throw for over 50 touchdowns, and Tampa Bay have a really good shot at the 1 seed.
Right.
Matt Stafford, he still has the most efficient numbers.
Yes.
And the advanced numbers love Stafford, but it's just hard to bake in. A voter's going to think of Matt Stafford twirling around in the end zone, throwing a pick on Sunday Night Football when they're voting for this award.
Right.
That probably gets washed away 2.5 months from now when people are looking at their ballots, but that is something to consider. And then with Rodgers and Kyler and Dak all having missed time, that's also going to factor in. So that's why we think right now the top 3 guys are Brady, Stafford, and Lamar. And obviously the back end of the season is going to determine, who takes pole position in that.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I like what you said there. I would add Kyler Murray in there to that favorite too, because they're going to continue to throw the ball. I think they are, like you said with Brady and the Bucks, going to be there for that number 1 seed thing. So it's one of those 4 guys. The one I don't understand is Josh Allen. I understand it, but man, it's just him and Stephon Diggs, and that's all there is. And we've seen some all over the place play from them. Okay. So, Big J, I got another one for you, and you kind of just hit on it. Odds for the number 1 seed in the NFC playoff race. The NFC, to me, is extremely talented. I have less questions about some of those teams there as far as completeness to them. How do you kind of see it?
Right now, we make Arizona favorite for the 1 seed. They're plus 175. And then Tampa's second, plus 300. And then we have Dallas, the Rams, and Green Bay, who are in a cluster behind them. And then New Orleans are 50-1 for the real optimists to get the 1 seed. But Arizona, they really separated themselves last week. This Arizona team kind of makes my head hurt. We can't really figure them out. 4 times this year, we've made them underdogs. All 4 of those times they've won by multiple touchdowns against Tennessee, the Rams, Cleveland, and then the Colt McCoy show last week against San Francisco. So just whatever kind of adversity that they come up against, this defense seems to be legitimate. The secondary is a lot better than we thought. Even with J.J. Watt going down, the defense is held up. And then Kyler Murray in that offense is obviously going to be explosive. So that's why right now they're the favorite to get the 1 seed in the NFC.
I can get behind that. All of what you said. I think the defense is super talented. The offense has more to offer than just Kyler Murray this year. I think that's what makes them a little different too, like we saw last week. Colt McCoy, it was a proper game plan, a lot of screens. The run game is a real thing for Arizona every week. It hasn't just become throw the ball to 4 wide receivers every play like we've maybe seen in the first 2 years of the Kyler Murray experience there in Arizona. I'm with you there all the way. I look at them and the Bucs as being the 2 leaders. Of course, I think the Rams are right there as far as talented as those 2 teams. I think one thing I looked at that I think just jumped out to me a little bit more is I thought Arizona and Tampa Bay have more favorable schedules than maybe some of the other teams we just showed on that graphic a few minutes ago, which plays into their hands. And, I think clearly Arizona, in my opinion, on both sides of the ball, Arizona, Tampa, I think are the 2 most talented teams in the game. And like the Rams are right there nipping at their heels. So I understand that all the way. Anybody else jump out to you as something we should watch for or watch in the NFC at all?
So I think Green Bay is the other team to think about just because they do have the tiebreak over Arizona.
Yeah.
Should they be tied. So that is really significant. And that's a big thing. And you touched on it looking at schedule. Schedule's a huge part of the chase for the number 1 seed as a tiebreakers. And so Green Bay having that over Arizona, and also Green Bay, they have a really tough schedule down the stretch, but they will have a chance, to get other tiebreakers too. So Green Bay, their defense looked much better than we thought against Kansas City.
Right.
It's hard to know though, whether that is about Green Bay's defense or whether Kansas City's offense just isn't any good at the moment because they struggled so much.
Yeah.
But the fact that Jordan Love looked as much a kind of first game starter as he did against Kansas City, and they were still able to keep it to a 1-score game, I think bodes pretty well for Green Bay going forward.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They make it tough to beat you no matter what. I don't think they're as talented as some of those teams that we just talked about, but they seem to play the game the right way on a weekly basis, and if you make a mistake, they capitalize like we saw with the Arizona Cardinals game a few weeks ago when Green Bay upset them on Thursday night. Jay, you are the man. Always appreciate the info. People, you should listen to Jay Croucher big time and then take a little bit into what I say, too. I'm not too bad myself. All right, Jay, you the man. Peace out. I'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Chris.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.